The Hyperloop One has successfully completed Phase 2 testing, reaching speeds of almost 200 miles an hour. It's the brainchild of Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk.
The innovative ventures of Elon Musk, from revolutionizing electric vehicles through Tesla to spearheading the celestial exploration of humanity via SpaceX, have long been a source of intrigue for the world. His vision often blends fact and fantasy, but this latest declaration once again captivated the imagination of the entire world. Imagine a future wherein rail transportation would move beyond just speed and efficiency into sustainability and high technology. No longer the stuff of dreams, that's what the Tesla train promised. In this video, we're going to see how this newfangled idea might revolutionize traveling, disrupt the transportation business, and maybe reshape urban physiognomies and worldwide economies. So, are we ready for that shift? And more importantly, what does it really say about our future? Let us explore high-speed rail, powered by the forward-thinking technology of Tesla, and find out from the minutest detail to the enormous potential waiting ahead. The vision behind the Tesla train. Elon Musk is a true visionary entrepreneur who has always shown firm consistency with his ideals of being futuristic. His ideas are not upgrades to technologies, but upgrading the answers to very pivotal global problems. The Tesla train is not just an ultra-modern version of our locomotives, but also shows Musk's belief in sustainable transportation. But why target the trains at all? Why now, when the world is faced with so many other challenges? Trains have conventionally been thought of as an icon of industrial development, yet they continue to suffer from inefficiencies, environmental concerns, and outdated technologies. In the United States, for example, rail travel is grossly lagging behind most of the developed world. High-speed rail projects are constantly in a state of delay, while diesel-powered trains continue to spew out toxic pollutants. Is this not the time for a paradigm shift? Musk's idea of the Tesla train can finally be what the railways were waiting for to take a leap into the 21st century. All electric, with extremely low carbon emissions, and possibly at speeds equivalent to or exceeding the performance level that both Japan's vaunted Shinkansen and France's TGV have managed to create. But more than anything about speed, more than being green, there is something a little deeper going on here. Can one brilliant idea change the game for an entire industry? If anyone can, it's definitely Elon Musk. After all, who would have thought electric cars would go mainstream? Such change has huge and many-sided impacts. A completely transformed face of city transportation, low carbon footprints, probably a transformed look of our transport infrastructure as such, an impact on employment to a great degree, developments related to real estate and local economies. Not only that, but this also can serve as an exemplary model for many parts of the world by giving an urge for similar endeavors at innumerable other places all over the globe. However, according to critics, such ambitious projects have more often than not presented a slew of challenges with high upfront costs, complex engineering hurdles, and regulatory obstacles. Concerns also exist with respect to scalability and practicality for large-scale adoption. Despite these challenges, proponents say the long-term benefits are well worth the initial investment. Standing at the threshold of this technological revolution, the one thing that is for sure is that Elon Musk's dream about the future of transportation is surely going to leave an indelible mark on our world. Be it in the form of a breakthrough toward a greener tomorrow or expensive experimentation, one thing is for sure. This Tesla train project constitutes the definition of cutting-edge innovation in this 21st century. But what makes the Tesla train truly revolutionary isn't just its ambitious vision, it's the groundbreaking technology powering it. Let's dive into the innovations that are setting this project apart from anything we've seen before. The technology driving the Tesla train. Revolutionary is the proposition of the Tesla train in its cutting-edge technological prowess. The use of high-capacity lithium-ion batteries, or even solid-state batteries, is assured on the train by leveraging the most advanced developments in electric vehicle batteries and power systems at Tesla. These newer kinds of batteries boast better energy density, faster charging times, and longer lifespans compared to conventional battery systems. But how do these state-of-the-art technologies compare to more traditional diesel or electric trains reliant on trolley lines? Other than being deafeningly loud, traditional diesel locomotives also spew out significant levels of greenhouse gas emissions, marring the atmosphere and bringing in climatic chaos. Electric trains, reliant on overhead wires, are much better positioned, but their infrastructure alone is disproportionately expensive to create and maintain, particularly across large tracts of area and when the terrain gets difficult. The propulsion system of the Tesla train would be powered by batteries, which could circumvent these constraints, therefore being sustainable and flexible. Battery-powered trains do not require a constant power supply from an external source, unlike an overhead electrical supply, which means that rail services could be extended to areas where it would be too expensive to build electrified rail lines. But they are so powerful that they can enable a train to cover longer distances without always going for recharging. Only imagine traveling from New York to Chicago on a no-jitter train, sans diesel cacophony, the pungent smell, or pollution. The sleek, electric-powered motor slides silently through the countryside with comfort in a more pleasing travel way for its passengers. This could be done by placing charging stations at major hubs and leveraging the already extensive supercharger network of Tesla, but this time on a scale adapted for high-capacity train batteries with rapid charging capabilities. These trains could reduce the number of hours wasted between trips and may just change rail travel forever. The other direction the Tesla train could go in implementing some of Musk's Hyperloop technology would be to use Maglev, a way of reducing friction, to achieve even higher speeds. The result is a Maglev train that could achieve speeds up to 375 miles per hour, or 600 kilometers per hour. Because friction among wheels and rails will become non-existent, it surely will revolutionize high-speed rail travel should Tesla successfully integrate battery technologies with Maglev systems. This could make regional and intra-urban travel much more competitive compared to flying and significantly decrease the carbon footprint caused by short-distance flights. But is it all about speed and power? The effects go much further than that. The Tesla train, with reduced reliance on fossil fuels, will slash greenhouse gas emissions, one of the highest emitting sectors in the world. The move from diesel to electric battery-powered trains is another inroad into building carbon-neutral transportation systems. This would not only help the environment, but also clean up the air in urban areas and along major rail corridors. Is this the kind of audacious step necessary to combat climatic change? Moreover, the Tesla train could contribute to job creation in the green industries, from manufacturing batteries to building and maintaining rail. Thus, such advanced technology would put Tesla in the lead when it comes to ecological transportation, serving as a great example for other companies to follow in starting to invest in greener solutions. In brief, this Tesla train is a transformation in the way railways would project themselves in the near future, keeping speed, efficiency, and ecological sensitivity in view. With this, the idea simply could be one of those solutions to create a more sustainable, greener, and connected globe. The Tesla train represents probably the most futuristic transport to date, amalgamating innovative design with advanced technology. In addition, with its high capability of running long distances without necessarily recharging and reduced environmental impact, it is easily projected as a good solution for passenger travel and freight transportation. The Tesla train can make much more of a difference than just providing a means of transportation. It's one step toward a sustainable future, contributing toward less use of fossil fuels and reduction of greenhouse gas emissions means a cleaner environment, or at least a reduction in further aggravation of climate change. In the end, the Tesla train is more than a mode of transportation. It symbolizes innovation and progress. Also, as technology is increasingly developed, it might very well be that in the next few years, more impressive developments in electric and driverless trains are on the way. The outlook appears brighter than ever when traveling by rail, and the front and center are the Tesla trains. A vision these bold demands more than innovative vehicles. It calls for a complete overhaul of the infrastructure that supports it. Revolutionizing transportation infrastructure. Obviously, one big challenge is the aging rail infrastructure of the United States, where most of the tracks and stations date back to the middle of the 20th century. The Tesla train system does not mean just buying new vehicles. it is changing the whole network. Advanced tracks for high-speed journeys, modern stations with complex charging options, and digitalized systems for smooth travel. All it would take is a substantial amount of planning and investment that would support the Tesla train. Most of the present rail lines are inadequate to handle high speeds, and thus need replacement or retrofitting with material to accommodate over 200 miles per hour in speed. This includes not only stronger rail lines and stronger bridges, but also constructing tunnels to the exacting clearance standards of modern high-speed trains. Other advanced safety features include the installation of modern signaling systems, automation of control mechanisms, and monitoring in real time to avoid accidents and improve efficiency. Stations require a revolutionary upgrade for electric high-speed trains. Many US stations were originally built for conventional diesel or electric locomotives and lacked the infrastructure for higher modern charging capabilities. In that regard, it would be great for travel to include the installation of high-capacity charging hubs, expand platform design to allow longer trains, and onboard processes efficiently. These changes also give ample opportunity to rethink the design of the stations by the inculcation of solar panels, green roofs, and efficient lighting. Is this the rail renaissance finally capturing the United States of highway and car cultures? Places like Japan, France, and Germany see high-speed trains not only as a way of life, but, for people, the mode of commuting that has replaced highways or short-distance air travel in appeal. Efficient, timely, and connected. Huge sums have been invested in developing interlinked networks whereby trains, buses, and urban transport all function together. Why hasn't the United States followed suit? One major reason has been the sheer size of this country and the entrenched tradition of car ownership. The interstate highway system, initiated in the middle of the 20th century, solidified driving as the foundation of the American transportation system, in which suburbs and cities alike were designed around cars. Long-distance routes also turned to air travel for reasons similar to affordability and time. This reliance on automobiles and airplanes has diverted attention and funding from rail development. Perhaps the Tesla train was just what was needed to break the mold. If innovative technology from Tesla could actually prove, once and for all, that this has apparent benefits in speed, environmental factors, and even cost efficiency, it may spark general public interest and, finally, the political will to seriously invest in a national rail infrastructure. This is where the new rail system would pay dividends in terms of reducing carbon emissions, as it would provide an alternative to using cars and airplanes for trips. A distance of 100 to 500 miles is quite typical for high-speed rail. In addition, the high-speed rail would unclog the highways and airports, therefore streamlining the nation's transportation systems. This would be achieved through the connectivity of major metropolitan centers such as New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and San Francisco, with high-speed rail corridors. The regional economic growth created by the Tesla train initiative would open up employment opportunities and a form of travel that is reliable for millions of people. Ultimately, embracing the Tesla train represents much more than a transportation solution. It embodies a vision for how to reshape the future of mobility, sustainability, and infrastructure in the United States. Economic and environmental impact. Tesla thus ushers in a new era in transport technology that is bound to redefine our economic geography and ecological footprints. It is bound to open hundreds of manufacturing, infrastructural development, and maintenance avenues. For manufacturing such highly advanced vehicles, a team of highly qualified professionals comprising engineers, designers, and specialists of other fields shall make an immense contribution to expanding the manufacturing industry. At the same time, huge infrastructure projects will be mobilized for the new rail network, laying tracks, building stations, and refurbishing the current railway lines that are also going to provide many jobs not only for construction workers, but also for managers of such projects. Long-term career opportunities for technicians, operators, and support staff will also be afforded in the maintenance and operation of the trains and associated facilities. The additional advantage of this form of transport is that local economies are stimulated along the proposed route system. Consider those small towns in days gone by that thrived during the heyday of railroading, whereby the arrival of the locomotive brought commercial activity, tourism, and economic growth to the towns. Could this be their renaissance? The Tesla train would breathe life into the towns that would otherwise have been forgotten. Hence, it would turn those towns into a hub of great activity, not only for travelers, but also for entrepreneurs. The increase in passenger flow caused by the rail network could lead to the development of supporting businesses like restaurants, hotels, and other retail shops. Also, abandoned towns cut through or whose population was reduced by highway systems can be revived as stopover points or logistical centers. The rail network could further incentivize people to stay in smaller towns, commute to larger cities to work, and thus spread economic development more evenly amongst the populace on account of good connectivity between rural areas and metro centers. Considering the current increase in emissions due to rail travel, the Tesla train is an ecologically important true novelty. One is the adoption of electric rail travel as the only path to real sustainability. In place of the conventional diesel train, which releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, the locomotives would be powered by renewable energy resources, solar, wind, or hydroelectric power, one far cleaner. Imagine living in a world where going to work every day, or even just across the country, is not making the Earth's environment worse. Noise pollution would also come down drastically, as electric trains run at a much lower decibel level compared with diesel ones. It will also be much better for the quality of life for people who are staying near railway lines because of the lesser ambient noise. Is this not the kind of world we would like to leave behind for our future generations? Cleaner air, smaller carbon footprints, and quieter residential areas are a pretty tempting view toward a sustainable future. The Tesla train, and others of its ilk, running on some sustainable fuel, are the ones that could go a long way in the fight against climate change. These new modes of transport will make sure that further innovation in clean transportation technologies is created and act like a yardstick for upcoming infrastructure projects. Electric trains can ease road congestion and the environmental impacts of automobile travel, providing a more efficient and environmentally friendly mode of transportation. It won't just be a leap forward in technology for Tesla, but will translate into a sea change in the ways of travel, the economy, and the environment. Indeed, this can transform society in ways unimaginable by encouraging new jobs, giving life to local economies, and reducing emissions. It means it is now time, perched as we are on this great revolution in transportation, minimally to double down on our chance at an equitable, sustainable, more prosperous future for our common destiny. Comparing the Tesla train to global rail leaders. Japan's Shinkansen, France's TGV, and the sprawling railway network in China have set the bar high regarding operation efficiency, velocity, and passenger experience. At this rate, one wonders how a Tesla train would compare to these juggernauts in terms of eco-friendliness and technological innovation. While the Shinkansen is unique for its punctuality and safety record, having carried billions of people since its first day of operation in 1964 without a single fatal incident, China's high-speed rail boasts impressive mileage, with over 40,000 kilometers of the network laid out so far to connect major urban centers with great speed and frequency. The French TGV is the pioneer in high-speed rail and still offers phenomenal speed, comfort, and reliability. It remains vital to the transport network in Europe. But with those remarkable feats aside, most high-speed rail systems still get the lion's share of their power from conventional power grids, most of the time derived from non-renewable sources like coal and natural gas. This automatically reduces the overall environmental feasibility of such systems. For example, even though China's high-speed rail system provides a substantial reduction in carbon emissions over air travel, its power grid relies mostly on fossil fuels, and thus, there is room for improvement in terms of sustainability concerns. The vision Tesla has for the Tesla train is to provide full electricity that could provide a means of solar-powered rails. Taking Tesla's expertise in electric vehicles, battery storage, and solar energy into one system, a connected rail network, can give another turn to the conventional aspect of sustainable transportation. Solar panels on the carriages, stations, or along the rails would provide supplements or even replace grid power, making the system largely self-sufficient and carbon neutral. Besides, advanced storage batteries developed by Tesla can store surplus solar energy during peak sunlight hours and provide power continuously, even when the sun is not shining. In terms of speed, a Tesla Maglev could really begin to open up the possibilities for high-speed travel. Maglev trains use powerful magnets to float above the tracks, greatly reducing friction and allowing them to reach speeds well over 600 kilometers per hour or 370 miles per hour. Should Tesla adopt or improve upon the Maglev technology, the Tesla train would cut travel time significantly compared to traditional high-speed rail systems. Another point that could be considered is car autonomy. The developments Tesla is making in the area of driverless cars could similarly be applied to rail travel, eliminating the need for human operators and further streamlining operations. Automation can facilitate streamlined processes, increased safety, and minimum delays that are normally contributed to by human error. Should Tesla succeed with its fast train, the fastest ever built, at a minimum, much greener and more technologically advanced, that will constitute a real jump for the United States in the sphere of worldwide transportation. It lags far behind many countries that have heavily invested in high-speed rail services. Its rails are old, and its culture is too reliant on automobiles and flying. A successful Tesla train would reinvigorate American infrastructure, reduce carbon emissions, and offer a competitive alternative to domestic flights and road travel. It can also set an example for the world in terms of how renewable energy, along with high technology, is integrated into such mass transit. Eventually, the success of the Tesla train will come down to surmounting several challenges: high developmental costs, regulatory obstacles, and lastly, gaining public acceptance. If harnessed well, though, the Tesla train really has the potential to set new standards in speed, sustainability, and innovation regarding rail transportation. The proposed Tesla train would mark a sea change in the landscape of high-speed rail travel and hence come up with an ecologically friendly, high-tech, efficient mode of travel. Such novelty can easily let the cat out of the bag on how to make long-distance journeys quicker, cleaner, and more comfortable, and it is the benchmark for sustainable transportation systems worldwide. As groundbreaking as the Tesla train promises to be, turning this vision into reality is far from straightforward. Let's uncover the uphill battle that lies ahead for this ambitious project. The challenges ahead. The Tesla train faces a variety of significant challenges, all of which are daunting. The challenges range from the high infrastructure costs that have to be put in place to the complicated regulatory barriers to the omnipresent skepticism of the public surrounding such an ambitious project. The daunting task ahead of whoever is attempting to build high-speed rail in a country as wide and varied as the United States is certainly a huge undertaking. Financial considerations with regard to laying new rail lines, acquiring land, and gaining favorable permits could easily balloon to tens of billions of dollars perhaps, and represent a seriously forbidding mountain. The ongoing maintenance of such critical infrastructure, especially when it spans large distances and has to be able to handle all sorts of climates, will require a major investment that will have to be sustained over a long period. Coupled with the above, there is a high level of interoperability with the already existing infrastructure, including essential factors such as highways, airports, and urban transit systems. This raises the question of just how much support the politicians and investors will be willing to give to this ambitious and visionary concept, at a time when budgetary restraints and competitive priorities often become strong barriers to the development of innovative projects. At this point, it becomes all too obvious that technology is of the essence. The batteries play a very special role in this respect. For this reason, one has to ask whether existing technology is already far enough developed to fulfill the demands and requirements of high-speed rail systems, or whether more research and development are needed in order to close any gaps that may exist. Unlike traditional electric trains, which use overhead catenary wires to power them, any battery-based system would require batteries that are not only hugely efficient, but also light and long-lasting, able to stand the demands of the high speeds and long ranges expected. Obviously, a significant energy density improvement will be required for these batteries. Batteries currently available in lithium-ion are unlikely to meet these requirements effectively unless there is a provision for frequent recharging stations, in which case efficiency and precious travel time will be lost. These are, quite possibly, problems that could be surmounted by a careful search for and subsequent development of alternative battery chemistries, such as solid-state batteries or even hydrogen fuel cells, which are innovative solutions. However, there are other factors of utmost importance that pertain to ecological considerations that cannot be overlooked. While electric trains are much cleaner in operation than their diesel-powered siblings, when looked at from a manufacturing perspective, and with particular regard to the problems involving battery waste. Very serious and pressing questions arise as to the sustainability of these technologies and their overall ecological footprint. Mining the key materials, like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, used in battery manufacturing may cause environmental degradation, which is linked with strong social impacts. Designing a genuinely eco-friendly, sustainable Tesla train must, therefore, address how to derive resources in unprecedentedly sustainable means and incorporate advanced recycling technologies that could recover the life cycle of those resources. Barriers here may include public acceptance barriers, particularly in a car culture state like the United States. It may be very difficult to contemplate asking people to give up their personal vehicles and ride on trains to go to work. Currently, a number of high-speed rail projects have been proposed for states like California and Texas, but these projects are facing opposition from various community groups and special interest organizations and are, therefore, on hold. Such skepticism and reluctance in the adoption of such transport modes can only be successfully dealt with and overcome in an environment of trust. This may be brought about by open and transparent lines of communication, successful pilot projects that can show viability, and the clear demonstration of perceived benefits to the larger community. This new Tesla train is potentially a precursor to a great revolution for travel in America, since it aims to bring together fantastic technological innovations with necessary political will and significant public support in an effort to break new ground for high-speed and eco-friendly transportation. Success in such a project would accrue from the technological feasibility, economic viability, and social acceptance of the venture. Monumental investments in research and development, infrastructure building, and public awareness campaigns are needed, apart from amendments in the existing laws and regulations to provide for the new mode of rail. Additionally, it also has to ensure that the ecological and social impacts the project will have on nature are properly looked after. For example, sustainable practices right from the start of construction to justly compensating landowners whose property the project took. The idea, while out of sight, is accomplishable and has the potential to change the phase of America's transportation infrastructure, setting a new standard in sustainable infrastructure developments around the world through hard work, creative thinking, and cooperation on the part of all concerned with the project. Is Elon Musk's Hyperloop the future we've been waiting for, or just an ambitious dream? Let's dive in. A bold vision for the future of transportation. Elon Musk's game-changing announcement of the Tesla Hyperloop was more than just another technological innovation. It was a clarion call to rethink the future of transportation. Will this vision change the world of travel, drastically reduce emissions, and give economies around the world a much-needed boost? Or will it remain an elusive dream? Only time will tell. But for sure, Musk has once again dared us to think beyond conventional boundaries. But as we stand at the cusp of this revolutionary era, let it be reminded that Musk's vision transcends way beyond a simple technological shift in human progress, but one that is a wake-up call for us all to reconsider our very way of looking at transportation in the light of its consequence to our Earth. In sum, the Tesla Hyperloop is another shift in the paradigm towards sustainable transportation and may quite revolutionize the global patterns of travel and commerce. Imagine a world where cities would be connected by vacuum-sealed tubes, pushing capsule-shaped vehicles at high speed with no emissions. Imagine a world where, for all practical purposes, there is no such thing as long-distance travel, instant transportation across continents. It's the future that seems more like a piece of science fiction than our actual reality. But what does it mean to our society? How would the wide-scale adoption of Tesla's Hyperloop change our urban planning, real estate values, and even our social systems? All these questions, and many others, will very soon be a reality as we embark on this transformative journey. But as we weigh the implications of Musk's announcement, let's remember that innovation always walks a tightrope with challenges. We need to address concerns about safety, cost-effectiveness, and public acceptance. Such rapid advancement in technology should also consider the ethical implications of such leaps and take heed that the gains from this leap would be distributed equitably among all nations and communities. The fact that it was announced by Elon Musk is actually what the Tesla Hyperloop represents, a clarion call to humanity toward a much cleaner, faster, highly efficient future. As we now stand at the threshold of this new era, may we rise to the challenge with open minds and hearts, ready to shape ourselves into a brighter tomorrow and for our successive generations. Leave a comment section below and let us know what you think. Do you believe Tesla's Hyperloop is about to change everything?